Okay, student. Now, the chapter one, we are going to talk about the language of chemistry. We already done with the first session. So here we begin with the second session. So in this session, that is the language of chemistry. This is the second session we're going to talk about. And what are the objective of this session? In this session, we're going to talk about the electronic configuration, valency, atomicity, metals, non-metals, what are the metalloids, and the inert gases. So in this whole session, we're going to talk about these points of this objective. What are the learning objectives of this session will be, going to talk about calculate the valency, what is atomicity, and we can draw the electronic configuration of any atoms. Okay, so let's begin with this. Now, what is electronic configuration? It is a distribution of the electron of an element in the different orbitals. So what is electronic configuration? When you talk about the electronic configuration, that means nothing but the distribution of the electrons of an element in the different orbits, or you can say orbit nothing but the shell. And these orbitals are called the octet. And what is octet exactly? In the last shell, or in the last shell, how many electrons should be there? 8 electrons. Then only it considered as a stable one. Okay, except the hydrogen and helium. So let's talk about this. In a first shell can have maximum of 2 electron can exist. So what is the accommodation capacity of the first shell? Is a 2 electron can accommodate in the first shell or first orbit. Okay. As we move further, that is after the first shell, we can have a maximum of 8 electron in each shell. So after the first shell, how many electrons can be there? The 8 electrons can be there. Okay, so in the first there are 2 electrons. After that there are maximum number of electrons in the shell. So you can see or you know, electron from the electron about reduction compared to this so also we have considered electronic configuration. Let's mention of some elements. What some elements? Let's study this. Number of electron in hydrogen is 1, so we consider as this. So we can this in ground. Number of electrons is 2. Why? Because we have so this is the structure. Electronic. So you have to draw then 2 electrons and now there can be accumulated. Yes, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the thing we understand that for element is stable if it has a either 2 or 8 electron in the outer shell. So when you want to call electron, you will call this the element is a stable. See, here we have to call about the duplet rule. Some elements with the electron configuration helium, neon, argon, etc. stable element. They are known as inert gases or noble gases that are stable. So look at their electronic configuration. The last one in case of helium is a 2. So they are stable. What about the elements? Periodic elements, the inert make bonds with other elements by sharing their share. So these are things they actually do. What how we know that which elements participate in the bond formation. So here question that how we can interpret any element can be involved in a bond formation or not. So valency of element. To answer of this question, how we can understand the element contributing for the formation of bond or not? By studying the valency. So what is a valency? Valency of an element. Valency represents the combining capacity of an element. What is valency? Valency represents the combining capacity of an element. But how can we find the valency of an element? That is valency capacity. How much electron that can be donated or can be accept or in our outermost shell, how many electrons are there? It's come as the number of oxygen is 8. The number of oxygen is 8. Electronic configuration is written as 2, 6. Electronic configuration is written as what? 2, 6. So in this case, what happened exactly? The 2 electrons accommodated in the first shell, and in the last shell there are 6 electrons are there. So let's move to the next one. Okay. So it needs 2 electron to complete this octet rule. I mean 8 electrons should be there. So valency of oxygen is -2. Why -2? Because it required 2 electrons from the external source to complete its octet. It has 6 electron, but its valence is not 6 because for completion or for a stability purpose, how many electrons are there? Should be there in the last shell 8. Out of 8, already 6 are present. How many lacking? 2. So that's why it's called -2. So minus sign means element can accept 2 electron. That minus sign indicate what? It can accept the 2 electron. But in case of hydrogen, we haven't considered as a -1 because it requires only 1 electron. So we have to understand that. Now, because oxygen is a highly electronegativity, so that's the minus sign also indicate the negativity of that atom. Now let's take example of the magnesium. Atomic number is a 12, electronic configuration is 282. How can you interpret this 282? In a first shell, 2 electrons can be accommodated. In a next shell, 8 electron can be accommodated, and in last shell, 2 electrons can be accommodated. Now the point is that how can you identify the valency? It needs 6 electrons, but does any element will donate 6 electrons? So in case of magnesium, completion of electrons or completion of the octet rule, that means 8 electrons should be the last shell. But no other element of the periodic table will donate the 6 electrons, a large number of electrons, one element. So it's not possible to accept the magnesium. So no element donate the 6 electrons. So to complete its cell, the magnesium is if he uses the 2 electrons from shell, the inner shell because the configuration is 2 if it is 1 because nobody is able to donate the magnesium. So they will keep both electrons. So the valency of magnesium is positive because they donate the electron. In case of oxygen, we have seen that it's a minus 2 because it is going to accept. But magnesium is plus 2 because it's going to donate the electron. Basically, a metal has tendency to donate the electron and non-metal have tendency to accept it. So this is also this valency also reveals about the type of material. Valence electrons. What are the valence electrons? Number of electrons present in the outermost shell of the elements are called the valence electrons. Valence shell electron in the oxygen is 6. Okay, so valence electron in the oxygen is 6. How many required? 2. So the valence is 2. Electron count is variable. So sometimes same different valencies to form a different compound. This property is called variable valency. In case of copper, it can be counted as a 1 or 2. In case of iron, it is counted as 2 or 3. In case of sulfur, it variable valency can be identified as a 2, 3. So according to the reactivity, they show the variable valences. So students, you have to clear the case of iron sulfur, they mostly show the variable valences. Now let's solve. Find the valency of the elements. Boron, the atomic number is given as 5. Okay, these are the questions you have to answer. Then second question is atomic number is 20. And the third question is atomic number. So the elements are put forward with the name and the atomic number. Okay, so the atomic number of boron is 5. In case of calcium is 20 and phosphorus 50. So we have to find the valence. Okay, so let's begin. So in case of boron is plus 3 because atomic number is what? 5. Okay, it's going to donate last rocket as well as okay. Then calcium, the atomic number is 20, but its valency is plus 2. And in case of phosphorus, is counted as a configuration. Let's talk about phosphorus. Let's talk about phosphorus. In first 10 and plus 10, then we do it, right? Electrons will be in the will be 10 in this 1 C2 plus 10. This is a large one. Let's talk about this. 3 is large. Now observe that plus 3 plus 2 minus. The is minus 3 because it's donut that. Okay, so this is how they represent. Okay, so now based on valency, elements are divided. See, I will clear it. I just drawn the element on electron configuration over here. The valency can be varied. Okay, so in case of boron calcium, it's quite correct, but in case of phosphorus, can show different valency. So the answer can be different. Now, based on the valence elements are divided. That is valence is 1. Example is H plus, Au plus, K plus. Au is okay. Divalent and this element fall under into the divalent, that is Ag, silver, that is barium, and the magnesium. Divalent, that is valence is aluminium, chromium, and potassium are found in the divalent. See, monovalent and trivalent, there is a one common K plus. Tetravalent, that is valence are Pb, that is a plumbum, that is a lead, and the plus of things are tetravalent. This is how they came. Now let's talk about atomicity. It's a definite statement or what is atomicity. Okay, total number of atoms which composes a molecule is called atomicity. We have learned that whenever there is addition or form the compound. So we have to talk about the atom. So atom combined into a molecule. So one molecule, let's take example of one molecule. It has a one hydrogen and one oxygen. So two hydrogen and one oxygen. The total number of atoms which composes the molecule is called. For example, oxygen molecule exists as O2. This means there are two atoms of oxygen. So the atomicity of oxygen is atomicity monoatomic molecules. Elements that have only one atom in the molecule. Molecule elements that have two atoms in a molecule. Examples O2 and 2. Atomicity. Triatomic molecule. Elements that have three atoms in a molecule. Example O3, H2, and CO. Tetraatomic molecules. Elements that have four atoms in the molecule. Example NH3, PO4, SO3. So we have learned about the atomicity. Let's talk about the nature of element. We're going to talk about metals, fluids, and the inner gas. So we have to lose the electron and call metals. We have seen that in case of calcium, magnesium, in case of magnesium mostly, it donates the electron to make sure it becomes stable after donating the two electrons, and that's why it possesses the 2 plus charge. Metal becomes positive after donating example sodium, configures 281. So nobody other element will donate the 7 electron to the towards the sodium to make sure it will be stable by acquiring the configuration stable as a noble gas. But after this is not possible. This is not possible, right? So if we donate the 1 electron and become configuration as 2,8. So that will become stable by itself by losing the electron by donating it. So this is how the electron is donated Why sodium is a metal? Because it donates. Who has tendency to donate electron? Metals. This is how we categorize into the metals. Non-metals are opposite. They have a tendency to gain the electron. Okay. And they gain the electron from metals. So elements which have the tendency to gain the electrons are called metals. Okay. So non-metals are basically nothing but what they actually accept. So elements which have tendency to gain. Okay. See, this is metals. We have studied about that. Now we're going to talk about the non-metals. Okay. So let's change these elements which has tendency to gain are for example, nitrogen is copper, it will gain and plus 3, hence sodium is a non-metal. Now, metalloids. What are elements which possess the property of both metals and non-metals are called metalloids. Elements which possess the property of both the metals and non-metals are metalloids. Example, silicon 14. So this is how we all that. So 4 electrons. It can as less and for completion of it needs see large in the electron. Now, not gases. There are stable and elements don't lose or gain the electron. So these are the stable one because they are not going to or not having any kind of elements. Okay, so example neon 10 electron configuration is a stable state. You can see the electronic configuration through comet and stable results and the models. Element X loses the electron to react with Y. Which of element can possibly be a metal and which element can be a non-metal? Gases are said to be the non-reactive. These are the three questions in front of you. You have to answer it. What are metals? Non-metals. About the metals and what the answer? Which lose the electron to form bond or metals, while the electrons are called non-metals. Example 2. Question number 2 is that an element X loses the electron to react with Y. Which of the elements can possibly be the metal and which element can be a non-metal? So X is a metal and Y is a non-metal. Why? Because X loses the electron. According to the information what we have seen in the slides, those who loses the electron are considered as a metal. Those who accept the electron are considered as a non. Now question number 3. Why noble gases are said to be the non-reactive? Answer is because they have a completely filled octet, and because of they are completely filled, they are not taking part in the reaction as their octet is complete. So what we have learned in this whole session, meaning of language of chemistry, importance of language of chemistry, then common terms, then we have done about the electronic configuration, we done about and we done about the atomicity. Then we talk about the metals, non-metals, metalloids, and inert gas. So we have the two sessions, that is first and second. They cover this point, and for paying attention,